Let's go. I think that we should, if it's okay with you, I think we should start with that song that you were talking about earlier. I felt like there was a moment there that y'all shared that I was not a part of.
Yeah, I don't know if Coldplay allows like ad sharing.
15 seconds?
Yeah, we can play 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Pick the
Hang on, I gotta find it.
most dramatic 15 seconds.
I don't even know the girl's name.
Oh, the TikTok girl.
Yeah. Because I think it would be good. But yeah, so
I think we should start this off with a good cry.
yeah, get the cry out of the way. It happens on there. But you were saying, or what I was saying, I guess, but about your brother. Like you told me one time, your brother, like I think he's living in California now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I don't know. I know that, like I said, I know that you lived in North Carolina, you lived in Nashville, now you live in New York. Anywhere else?
No, not permanently.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've kind of been on the road most of my life, for the most part. Like,
We talked about like installing and stuff. Like you've been all over the fucking place doing that.
yeah. Most of that was the decal source jobs, you know. When I first moved to Nashville and I was out on my own, I pretty much just took they have the Toyota driver intro account for all the Toyota races. They put all the drivers before the race, they do a big lap. And
I've done them where you go out in the parking lot and
Like-
there's like 50 of those fucking Toyota trucks.
yeah.
You got to do the door decals or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do cars, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Most of the time trucks. Though.
Yeah, usually just Tundras,
Yeah.
but
So you just go around from track to track doing that?
yep.
Yeah.
Did all the tracks, at least all the Toyota races, you know.
How many do you think that was?
That's a good question, man. Maybe like 8 or 9 a year. I don't know if that's. I can't say for sure.
No, I mean like how many tracks were there? Is that what you're saying? 8 or 9 tracks?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought you said years.
No, Toyota tracks, you know.
Yeah.
Because they'll have the Chevy races where the Chevy's the sponsor, or you know, Ford.
Yeah, I think maybe like Charlotte and maybe Richmond, maybe. I think that's the only two that I've ever been to. And honestly, I don't even remember. I know the one in Charlotte, I want to say was a Toyota, but I don't remember if.
Chicago, Talladega, Arizona, Ontario, California.
Did you ever stay for any of the races?
Watkins Glen. No, I've never stayed for
Never?
a race.
Have you been to a race?
Oh man. Not for a whole race.
No, never been
no,
to a whole race.
No.
Talladega's freaking crazy.
I got to at Daytona. Yeah, at Daytona one year, I got to walk the car out for with Junior's team.
That's cool.
Got to be out there in the pit road.
Junior runs good he ran good at Daytona too, so that's always exciting.
That was a pretty cool little moment.
Just being on pit road period is cool. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
Yeah. Like a lot of people, if you've never experienced it, it's pretty wicked.
It is, man. Even for somebody like myself, I never, even though like this is my career, I never really gave a shit about cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not a car dude. Like,
Well, like we were talking about it earlier. Like you had a GTI.
yeah. This
and,
was later on.
Subaru. Oh, okay.
Later on in life, you know. I started when I was really young, and you know, my dad was super involved, and that was kind of. I was just interested in music, you know, and that was it. That was my love, dude. I really didn't. I had no interest in cars or car culture, you know. So, which is funny, how I ended up working on cars, you know, like I had zero interest, and I was going to these race shops every day and working on cars, and everybody's telling me like oohing and ahhing. And I'm like, I don't care, man. I'll make it pink, red, yellow, whatever.
You're ready to get out of there and do music.
Yeah, or like chase a girl or something, you know. I mean, when you're young, that's really what it's about.
This is the chick, Lambert.
Yeah. Sorry that took so long. I had to Google how to find my watch history. So that tells you I don't do TikTok very.
You sound like you're 80.
I am. Now I got to figure out how to make the volume go up.
You got one job in here.
If you're new here, the last couple of weeks, have
She looks
been
like a hippie.
Wild. I had less than 400 followers about 2 weeks
All right,
ago.
I'm going to skip this
and
part.
now I
Thank
have
you.
about 45,000 followers.
And you may, like,
Because
You're probably not gonna cry. just because I've shared a lot of, just because I've shared a lot of music with you, and I know how you are, and I don't think I've ever seen you cry over a song.
I think we just need to hear it, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah, here we go. Look at the stars. Look how they shine for you. Everything you do, they were all yellow. I came along, I wrote a song for you. And all the things you do, and it was called yellow. So then I took my turn. Oh, what a thing to have done. And it was all yellow. Your skin and bones turn into something beautiful. And you know I love you so. You know I love you so.
Should I keep it going?
It's beautiful,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, she can rip.
I swam
Like-
across.
Yeah, she does Dancing in the Dark too, and it's like Ash. Like I don't know, it's just phenomenal.
Man, that garage reverb
Yeah.
hits.
Yeah,
It's good.
it's serious.
She controls it too.
What-
You know
what's
what
her
I mean?
name?
Like she could
Shout out Carla Davis Music.
she could really let it go in there if she wanted to and just be like overwhelming. But
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about the control of that that's kind of cool. It's like
Yeah, she's nice with it.
yeah. I can't help but wonder who she is though as she's doing it. You know what I mean? Like I find myself wondering off and like how do you get to that place where you're the lady that plays the guitar and you know what I mean? Like clearly she's passionate about music, right? She's got to be that good. I mean, you don't think you get that good without having some passion.
Well, as Bob Ross said, talent is just something you're willing to practice.
Yeah.
And
that's
I think
good.
Amen to that.
I think that applies to everything.
Yeah. But it's just cool. Like she was like, she's probably been doing that forever. And then one day she's like, put up a camera and just record it and see what happens.
Yeah, I think on some of her earlier videos, she talks about that and how it got to that point. Because, yeah, she's like got 3 kids or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and young kids at that. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Me
You
either.
just- life happens, but you try to like stick with the passionate part, you know.
100%. That's why I was like looking at the background. I'm like, this is just a regular gal. She just like, you know, probably put her kids down to go to bed or whatever. And she's like, I'm going to go out here and just slay this song real quick.
Man,
Sorry.
go ahead.
And if you think about it, for every one of her, there's thousands like her that just don't post anything.
Right.
Like
Yep.
they just like they're that good, but they just do it for them.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
No, I feel you.
Yeah. A little bit of passion goes a long way.
Yeah.
A real long way.
But to Josh's point, that's kind of, you know, I mean, other than just us being friends, it's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to have you on. I was like, dude, nobody knows Tanner. You know what I mean? Not really. They don't. They have no fucking clue who you are. Not really.
I like to keep a little mystery to it.
There's still mystery for me. We've talked a shit ton. Like you surprise me when we're talking. It's cool. It's good conversation. I enjoy it. Oh. So I think that if you're cool with it, I think we should talk a little bit about where you started, because it's funny hearing you say the whole like you just wanted to play music, but then you end up being a really good installer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've heard bits and pieces of the story, but it's when you get put in this setting, it gives, you know what I mean? It gives you an opportunity to kind of like, let's hear it. Let's hear, like, because you're, for anybody that doesn't know, right? Like, Tony's a pretty big deal. You know what I mean?
He is.
In his space, right? Like
Yeah,
for what he does.
Yeah.
And so if you were a car guy, you're in like the perfect spot, you know, as a kid. So why don't you tell it?
I don't know if I've ever told my story, but I'll do the best I can.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard you say it. I just kind of feel like I know, like I've always known you. You know what I mean? Like you've always been part of it. I don't know if that's weird or not, but like sticking decals has been my life. This is what I do. It's like I'm a fucking rapper. So it's like TDS for as long as I can remember, you know. By the time I got to work at Motorsports, TDS existed. 2006, it was a thing. 2007. And I knew he had kids. I knew you existed, you know what I mean? But I mean, other than just you being there, I didn't really know any more than that. I knew we were close to the same age, relatively close to the same age. But anyway, when you think about it, where does it start for you?
Well, honestly, I don't think cars were like my biggest interest, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that my parents, for the most part, were super supportive of my brother and I doing music. They were behind that. So that's what we were shooting for, you know. So growing up as a kid, Tony was at work every day, you know, and I kind of saw that, you know, being a stressful thing. I guess just being a business owner, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that, obviously.
Yeah, and he's not ever been a small, really. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's ever been a small operation.
Yeah, not in a long time. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm sure that he feels a lot of pressure that, you know, when you're talking a small business, like, you know, 10 or less people, like I mean, yeah, it's a lot, but it's not like, how many people does he have?
Dude, I think it's like 50 or something. He's got a lot of people over there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, honestly, that was kind of a turnoff for me.
Really?
Like, just witnessing the stress that he went through, like, building up that company. And tell you the truth, like, growing up playing music, the whole, like, sex, drugs, and rock and roll thing was really appealing to me.
Yeah, the allure.
For some reason.
For most everybody.
Yeah, it was like, that's what I want to do,
Sure.
you know. And obviously you grow up some and experience more of life. And
so I know over time, like your music taste has grown, right? Yeah,
it's forever changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back then, did you have a go-to genre where you
My brother and I, we first started writing and playing like kind of experimental like rock music, and they call it math rock because there's like crazy time signatures and switches, and I really admired that type of stuff because it was almost like something that hadn't been done before, or something you don't hear. Like, you don't just hear that stuff on the radio, you know. So to me, it was like this whole new world, and influenced me in a way that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make something that nobody else had made, you know. And
which is kind of tough, I would think, because I mean, there's only so many chords and only so many ways that you can organize it.
So I'm kind of getting a little sad over here. There was I'm trying to pull up. There was a video of Palmer Raid's show at the Raven, and I can't find it.
is it
anymore.
not up there?
No, it's not.
What's Palmer Raid?
Go ahead, Josh.
It was what was Zach Weber in the band at one point?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Webster.
Webster, Zach Webster, your brother, you. Who else was in it?
Michael Batanti.
Batanti, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a. They were doing shit that they had no business doing musically,
Like
But
in,
it was-
in the experimental space, or just
but it was epic. And I don't know why it didn't last as long. Was Zach in the band too at that time?
I'm trying to think of why it kind of came to an end, but I remember when it did come to an end. It was like a really sad day for me.
sure.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it ever like it being a good scenario where the band splits up. You know what I mean? Like that, there has to be even if it's early. I would say that there was a moment where everything jived. You know?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I was probably like 13 years old or
Dude,
something.
I found it.
Rip it, dude.
Oh my god,
Rip it.
dude.
So
I was playing it.
I asked, like,
I was
is
playing-
it experimental? Like, is it in that space, or is it?
I wouldn't say experimental, but it's like a bunch of teenagers making music, so it's not like good.
Like, is
But-
it
Nah,
original
it-
music, or is
It's
it?
good. I don't care what
I'm
anybody says.
playing a neon yellow drum set that I wrapped. So this
Are you
is
playing
this
covers
is,
or,
this-
like-
no, they're all
No.
originals.
Originals, okay.
This was actually one of the first things I ever wrapped was my drum set. So
It's
it's a
fitting.
nice segue
It
there.
is. It's fitting. This is good. How old are you?
12, 13.
12?
Yeah, something like that.
Let me just say, I would have never
This is
thought
on
in
the
a
internet.
million years that I would be doing this on a fucking podcast
This is
like
cool.
this with all three of us sitting here. So
This is
this is epic.
I like this.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate this. Appreciate I could be a part of this.
Y'all see that rap?
This looks like it was filmed in the 70s. I swear to God, this looks like a Jimi Hendrix video or something. That dude looks like a freaking rock star.
I think this
'cause he
song's
is.
called Gay Rebels.
Yeah. Yep. Who recorded this?
Charles Miller.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Shout out Charles. Thanks, dude.
You know who that is singing? Scott.
No, I don't.
That's my brother.
That's
Oh, is it
Cole.
really? That's funny as hell. Yeah. He still looks like a rock star, by the way. Even now. That's so funny. I didn't realize that was him.
I'm so happy this still exists. Look at your boy.
No business playing that.
I think that's what I liked about like the younger years of being a musician the most is that like you would just go for shit just because you like thoroughly enjoyed
Yeah.
like playing it.
It was like ignorant willfulness.
Yeah, and I feel like as you get older, you're a little bit robbed of that because there's like people put these expectations on you as you get older to like push you into a box, and it's just like nobody wants to be put into a box.
Nobody backs baby into a corner. Are they still doing this?
Who?
Like 13-year-olds.
Oh,
Uh,
I don't know.
I mean, I haven't hung out with a 13-year-old in a minute.
Thank God. Thank God.
Dude, I
They'd lock your
imagine
ass
there's gotta be.
There's a line in Armageddon where I don't know, it's a thing, but he's like, I hope so. Or what else are we doing this for?
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
That's the way I feel. Like
Yeah.
that needs to be happening. I don't know if it is though. Like I don't know. I hope it is.
Well, I've seen once again.
I just feel like they're probably doing that on like TikTok instead of like at a bar.
Yeah.
with-
But
This-
but
yeah.
the band, you think like the band?
I see it online sometimes.
Do you?
know, they'll squeeze 4 dudes in a room this small so you can get it all in.
In one frame.
Yeah, but that shit right there was like, that was at the spot at the
Sure.
time, and like that wasn't no like you're stuck in a room, like you're out there.
No, there was definitely people
Just-
doing drugs in the bathroom
Sure.
and like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it
they're
was,
just
uh,
out there just fucking shredding.
Yeah.
12. When did you start playing?
I got my first drum set for Christmas when I think I was like 6.
Yeah.
Yep. My uncle was a drummer. And his son, my cousin, is an incredible guitar player, musician all around. He plays everything. So I sat down on a drum set for the first time when I was like 3. And they'll never let me live it down, but I broke one of my uncle's drum heads because I got frustrated because my brother wouldn't let me play, so I just stabbed a hole in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.
3.
That's understandable.
Yeah. So I don't know. I loved it right from the start.
So it was probably between your uncle and your brother was like big inspiration.
Yeah, and my cousin. So it became kind of like a family tradition. Every Thanksgiving or Christmas, they would come in for 2 or 3 days, and it was like for those entire 3 days, it was just me, Cole, Chayton, and my uncle just playing music,
Jamming.
like jamming, dude.
Yeah.
So
What about through school and stuff? Did you play?
yeah, sorry
No, you're good.
about that.
No, you're fine. There's a stand right here if you want to use it. I keep mine
Do-
up here. I
do
try
not
not to.
disturb.
That's a good call. I'm gonna put mine on do not disturb.
I didn't realize you have 2 of those now
Yeah.
up there.
I'm pretty happy about it, really. This one I got because my wife calls me an astronaut because I always have my head in the clouds, and then we printed this one. So
Nice.
yeah, me and my son printed it actually. It's it's pretty cool. Anyway, sorry. Side note.
It's all good.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Jamming with your own uncle and like your cousin, and that was the big thing.
I think you asked him if he was playing through school.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Thanks,
yeah.
Lambert.
So I went to private school 5th and 6th grade, and I was like a real outcast at that school.
Okay.
I was like real small classroom. All these kids have been in the same class together since preschool, So I came in like 5th grade and was immediately kind of like the outcast.
Sure.
So that whole time I was like playing in bands and I was wearing girl jeans and everybody thought I was gay.
You did your hair like this.
Yeah, dude. Didn't give a damn.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I didn't start playing drums in school until I transferred to public school my 7th grade year. And
So when you were playing in private school, you're like with your brother? Is that what
yeah, playing at bars and stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You were young.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten to play a show and like the security guard wouldn't let me in the building because I wasn't like 21 years old. And I'm like, dude, I'm playing like...
I'm part of the band. I'm with the band, dude. Every one of y'all in that video had X's on your hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And fucking children, dude.
That's crazy. So, playing music back then, like I said, Tony. By the 2000, when did they start? When did TDS start?
I think 1998.
98.
I'm
So
pretty sure. I may or may not be off. Josh?
I
think they just had their like
98.
30th or something, 30th anniversary.
Something like that.
Sorry, I should be on this. Let me do my thing.
Your job's not that hard. Google.
Y'all need to get on your SEO.
I'm just gonna.
Get on their SEO because when you type in TDS, it should come up.
Everybody knows what it is. You know, Google should know by now. But yeah, I just thinking like I'll run it parallel to you playing music because it's interesting. Like looking at like watching you stick now is like, you know, you would have thought you'd been doing it your whole freaking life. You
98,
know what I mean?
baby.
98. Called it. Nice. Yeah. So instead, like you were like, nah, fuck that. I'm playing music. I'm all in on the music.
I went real rebellious, you know. I was honestly, like my whole life people said I was like an old man stuck in a little boy's body.
Sure.
But at the same time I was really immature. Like just in hindsight, you know, as any kid is, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, I love playing music, but in hindsight, I was real immature.
So you're playing drums, right? Like that's you're a drummer.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I think you were that young and playing. Like, when did it really start to, like, did you ever feel like you didn't belong? I mean, not just because of your age, but because of your skill set. Like, at any point were you just like, man, I'm in over my head here?
With the music thing?
Yeah.
No, but I did start to develop like imposter syndrome later on in life, where I don't know, I just felt like I didn't deserve it, or maybe I wasn't good enough, or just like insecurities you have, you know.
Well, you've played some pretty awesome places, right?
Yeah. I've got to tour a lot of the country. Did Europe, which honestly was probably the best time of my life, was touring Europe. I was like 24 years old and I just moved to Nashville. Moved to Nashville to pursue music after grinding installs for, I think it was like 6 or 7 years.
So
I got real burnt out.
Oh yeah.
I got real burnt out on the racing thing, and
Just this area will do it to you.
yeah,
It'll burn you, it'll cook you.
it got me.
Well, then what happened? Like, so you were playing music, but then decided to go to work at TDS.
Yeah, I just music wasn't putting the money in my pocket the way I needed it to.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I've never been like like the smooth talker or like, you know what I mean? Like, not like the business savvy, smooth talker. So I've realized at a really young age I was gonna have to find something that I could be really good at. You know, like I decided if I could find something that gave value, then I wouldn't have to be a smooth talker or like.
Yeah, because that's a big thing that I came across is like my social skills are not very good.
Really?
And you don't say. So like
Might be selling yourself short here, Josh.
if you do want to, like, that's a big thing they say, if you want to make it in music, you have to be able to like network and like communicate with people, like, and that was like that's one of the hardest parts for everybody to make it.
Do you think do you think that that's a reason why you're probably really good at what you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like those two things correlate. That essentially that's what you were just saying.
Mm-hmm.
If it's anything like how I think of it, like installing, you can say, hey, here's something that needs to be done, and you can just go and do it, and you don't have to worry about anything else, and you can kind of be alone in your thoughts, you know.
Yeah.
But whenever you're talking about trying to like keep a band together, like you have got to communicate. And if you miss anything, like somebody's going to be pissed off for whatever reason, or somebody's going to want to quit, or they're going to want to go to college and not tell you, or some crazy stuff like that. I think about, the younger years, but yeah, I think that's what he's talking about whenever that's just what I think you're talking about. Maybe I'm off base a little bit.
No.
Well, it's just kind of things change, You get older and you change. Like, I don't even have the same ideas I used to. I view the world totally different, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. I think people get so caught up with holding on, like making their identity based off what they believe or what they think, but
Or what they're good at, right? I mean, like you could easily be that drummer guy. You know what I mean? Like you could have your whole world wrapped up in being the drummer guy.
yeah,
Like the drummer. Like, I mean, it's a thing, right? I mean, you think of anybody that went famous, you know what I mean? It's really hard for them to break and do something else and be recognized for that. It's like I just seen this thing the other day, or I heard it. Steven Tyler from Aerosmith fell and
I saw that.
hurt his shoulder, and I think it had something like it's messed with his voice.
Yeah, they called the whole tour off.
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah, shut it down.
Yeah,
And so it's like, if he wants to rebrand himself as something else, he'll always be the lead singer of Aerosmith.
yeah,
Like if he goes to doing like at home like jazzercise or something, you know what I mean? Like you can't. How do you rebound from being the singer of, Aerosmith? Like it's just your whole. That's his entire identity. And he'll always be a rock star forever. His whole thing will be wrapped up in that. But for you, I mean, you started young, real young, and it doesn't seem like you really had like an identity crisis.
Oh, I did.
Did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. For
Didn't
sure.
you like change your name for a little bit? Like have like a AKA for a while, or still do?
Oh yeah. For a while there, I was going by my producer name, at least. At least on the internet.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, I like to have some type of mystery behind it.
Sure,
So
sure.
I don't really have my actual name on a lot of the music out there. It's under my producer name.
Is that like some, so Jeremy Connors, when he came on, he was talking about like, when he travels, he's Stevie. You know?
Yeah.
Did you see that? Like he steps into like a whole different thing. Like, is that like a whole thing for you? Like, do you step in like when you feel like maybe in music you're one person, and when you're graphics you're another. And maybe that's too specific. Maybe it's
No,
just,
not really. I
No?
don't.
because I don't feel that. I mean, you seem like the same cat.
I have a hard time not being anything but myself.
Gotcha.
You know, anytime I step out of my own shoes, that's when I start feeling weird or it doesn't feel right. You know, dishonest,
Yeah.
disingenuous.
Yeah, yeah.
Was at that same time, like, Cole was going by a different name too, wasn't he?
Probably
yeah.
the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was that like this same thing, or was that more of his, like, not to get too, speak for him or anything like that, but were you guys kind of like in that together? Because over that period of your life, like, I was like in it, like rooting for you guys, like, because I understood what you guys were going through, even if I didn't fully understand it.
Well, like because of the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because I went through a super, like,
Yeah, I can.
an
rem- I can-
interesting spot with
I can.
music.
I can
myself.
remember when I guess y'all put out an album. I mean, I'm sure you've put out a couple with you and your brother, but it was like a moment for Lambert. Like he was just like really related to it. He did. It was cool.
Damn, Josh, that means a lot, man.
Yeah, it was. It was cool, and I remember him stopping. He's like, "You need to listen to this. Check this out." And I was like, "What is this?" Trying to put it together. I was like, "Don't he stick decals? What is
Yeah.
this? What's going on?"
Yeah.
And I would say, listen to this dude play these damn drums.
Ta-da,
Or
ta-da,
like-
ta-da.
Some of the beats you were writing, just like, I don't know. I don't know how you come up with the shit.
Yeah, I
Honestly.
mean, me and my brother have made music together our entire lives. You're asking me like how it started. By the time I was 11, he and I had like 60 original songs. Like that's like most kids go outside and like play basketball together. Like,
Right.
me and my brother, we would go up to our room and write a song. So,
Has he always been like into the experimental stuff too? Like just being off the wall, just whatever. And
oh yeah,
that's cool that
Yeah.
both of you were open minded like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
yeah. We were honestly trying to like push the boundaries of like creativity and art. We're trying to create our own mold rather than fit in somebody else's, which is tough to do in music. Yeah, that,
I mean, y'all done it. Y'all put out. I mean, I've heard, especially the last album. I mean, it's its own thing, and it is weird. I guess you're right, because inherently, like, you want to put it in a. Like, I bet when you went to go put it on Spotify, and they're like, "What type of music is this?" It's probably like a minute there where you're like, "It's its own." Motherfucker. Don't put me in that box.
yeah. We dubbed it street pop.
Street pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with that.
I don't know, man. I honestly, ever since COVID, my priorities completely shifted.
Yeah.
Outside of the world shutting down, I got in a relationship with what's now my wife, and right before COVID, we were in Montreal together. She she's from Mexico City, and she was on a visa, so we didn't really have the time to like just hang out together for years,
Mm-hmm.
We're in Montreal, and we just kind of had to talk, like, are we or are we not going to be together? Because, like, we have to decide. So,
Montreal's Canada, right?
yeah.
So y'all met in Canada?
No, we met in Mexico City.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
Were you listening to the dude?
Yeah. Well, I heard him say that she was from Mexico City.
The dude abides.
I was trying to keep up there. It's crazy. It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it kind of is. But
Yeah.
yeah, ever since we made that decision to be together, I was like, I mean, up until that point, I was just my at one point I had like 5 roommates, and like
In Nashville.
yeah, and was just doing the music thing. I would do maybe like one install a month, just enough to
Survive. Pay the
survive.
bills,
Yeah, literally. I mean, and my bills were only like $500 a month,
Right.
so I was really living pretty non-committal to really anything up until that point. And
Yeah, but golly, man, like when you were here rapping, you were probably doing. I mean, you a lot of your time was spent at juniors, right?
yeah,
Yeah. And
at least like the last half,
okay,
last couple years at TDS, it was mostly me and Todd.
Todd Harris.
Todd Harris.
Yeah.
Shout out Todd.
Yeah, for sure. Todd's
My
good
man.
people. Yeah. I think he's still there. I think he's still hammering.
Talk about holding it down.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. I hadn't talked to him in a couple of years, but I'm pretty sure he's still.
Talk about a good installer.
Yeah.
He taught me a lot for sure. He definitely helped me in my come up.
Yeah, but see, even that's weird to think about. Like, it seems like you've been doing it a lot longer. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, 10 years, right? 10, 11 years?
Probably 10 years full time. Maybe like 14 or 15.
Okay.
Like
That seems
all
more accurate.
all
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, my first time, trying to think. I think I was probably like 9 the first time I went up and started brushing rivets on it was a Joe Gibbs Home Depot hauler, and I like burn up a couple of them, and the guys at Joe Gibbs took pictures and emailed it to my dad, and that was my first intro into.
At 9, I would have killed my brother to be at Joe Gibbs rubbing rivets. No doubt about it. I'd have shanked him, right? Like, it was like, I couldn't even conceive it. It like, when I thought about it as a kid, I'm like, I don't know who gets to do this, but it's got to be like, these guys got to be like the biggest deal in the world. Like, this the most, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where my mind was. Like, I couldn't even imagine getting to work at a race shop. It just was so far away from even being like possible. Like, it just seems so like such a big dream, like, to even do it. And now I got championship rings. I don't know if you've seen them or not, but
I saw those.
they're not real. I wish they were. But so, what was it like when you first started working at TDS? Like, I would have liked to have been there the day that you called Tony and was like, all right, dude, you got anything for me? What can I?
I was actually working at a burger joint. I left traditional high school after my sophomore year, just because I could not stand school, and transferred to middle college, which is basically just your core high school classes, but there's no electives. Instead of electives, you're required to take at least one college class, but you can take as many as you want, and they're for free. It's at a community college. So that worked out for me great, because you didn't have first class didn't start till like 1 p.m. It's kind of designed around like kids who are working and out working a job basically.
You didn't need recess because you don't play.
That's right.
I got it.
That's right.
Were you smart?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said you were immature, right?
I was real rebellious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like, according to the PSAT, I'm like as dumb as it gets. And
I thought you were gonna say you were a genius or
no,
something.
no. Like,
But that's
bombed it.
that's where I'm at with you. Like, it's so hard to gauge whether you're gonna be like, I'm borderline retarded or a genius.
Yeah, borderline both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if the R word is politically correct.
I think we're okay using it now.
Okay.
Cool.
It's not
I'm t-
derogatory.
Okay, good.
You're not hurting my feelings.
Good.
Dude.
Because I don't. Yeah, I just mean like
We'll-
as far as.
We'll
like,
ask my wife. Sorry,
Okay. Yeah.
she'll
We'll
have the
check.
answer.
That's fair. No shade on smart people or less intelligent people.
Moving on.
So go to college, graduate, or go to
Middle college.
middle
Yep.
college, graduate. You're done with that. So you're like, all right, I'm gonna play music, and I'm gonna work at a burger joint.
No, the burger joint was while I was in community college. And I did that for like a year and a half. And I was working like second shift. I was closing the restaurant. And that was basically all we did was party, man. We would close the restaurant, and then we would all go party, and then probably go back at like 4 a.m. to make a burger and shut it down again.
So it wasn't like a big chain place or anything like that.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just didn't care.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rebel. I feel like that's good.
I don't know. As my dad always, there's one thing he taught me like that stuck with me. The main thing he taught me was work ethic. He knew I really hated school, so he told me if I could work really hard, I wouldn't have to go to school.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds good to me, you know? So after a year of working at the burger joint, I was making minimum wage, you know? I was like just trying to figure out any way how I can make more money.
I just imagine you like cleaning up at the end of the night.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like hearing you talk, like I just imagine you in there just like,
Dude, shoes, pants soaked with water and burger grease and like just nasty.
my brother
dude.
you worked at a steakhouse, and I can remember he had these shell toes, and these fucking things were warped from just like, and they were like gray and like brown and just gross, dude. They smelled so fucking bad. That was terrible.
Yeah, I'm glad I got that experience though.
Yeah.
You know.
Looking back, I wish I would have. I wish I'd have done it. I wish I'd have went through it and just been, I don't know. I look back and wish I would have. So
Yeah, so I went from there straight to TDS, and I think I was 18 when I started full time, which is kind of funny because I put this in quotes, part time. They were like, because I was still pursuing music,
sure.
and the agreement was
Nobody's part time.
exactly part time, full time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what that turned into. So that turned into me just,
Always installation or
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just grinding. Yeah. After I was, also, I want to let everybody know, I was really bad when I first started.
What do you mean?
I was not a good installer.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I talk to a lot of guys that are just starting, and they sometimes seem a little discouraged, and it's like, dude, just keep doing it. Just don't stop, and you'll get there.
What do you think was in the beginning, if you can remember, like, what do you think helped you the most?
Helped me the most in which way?
Like quality and just getting better as an installer and like,
Honestly, just giving a shit
yeah.
really helped.
I mean, you had like being at TDS, like you got a ton of resources there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not going to sit here and say that everybody is just so willing to help and work and it's this great environment. I mean,
Especially with the boss's kid.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I can imagine it being kind of challenging, you know?
It was, man.
One, you really didn't want to be there.
That's correct.
You know what I mean? Like you really wanted to be playing music.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like I've worked in these places, dude. Most of them guys are not.
They're, they're not lovely people.
They're just not. I mean, they're talented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's
But-
some exceptions. Like Todd's one of those dudes. He's a
Yep.
good dude. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like he's not bitching, moaning, complaining,
No.
and like, nah, he's legit.
He's good shit.
But you don't find ones like him very often.
No, you really don't.
You know what I mean? The majority of them are bitching and moaning about like, I don't get paid for this shit. And
Mm-hmm.
looks good from my house. You know?
Can't see both sides at the same time.
It is a race car, you know.
It's just gonna hit a wall.
Right.
Is this just the backup? Is this the backup? It's the backup, right?
So I just wonder, you know, like, how did you not fall in that trap?
Man, I kind of did for a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Dude, I have to say this because, and I've told you this story before, but I'm just gonna put it out on the record. We had got done at a show one night, and me and Tanner were talking about, like, I was like, hey man, because I used to work at the decal source too, but
You work?
we we were talking about, I was like, man, I'd like to try to install someday. And he's like, dude, no, don't do it. He's like, I was like, why? It looks cool. And he's like, dude, if you start installing, you'll install for the rest of your life. And here we are. That's what I do. Yep, that's been.
So I wasn't wrong.
Yeah, since 2000, I don't know, 2010.
Yeah.
2009, 2010, something like that. I don't know.
It does. There is something about it. Like once you know how to do it, and you can be left alone and make money, and like, it's hard not to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's as much as you hate it. There's a small space when all the stars align.
Here's the beautiful thing, though. I don't hate it anymore.
Oh, okay.
That's like, if anything, it's like my new superpower. Because no matter what shit's going on in my life, I can always just put my head down and go wrap a car,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's good.
And, yeah, that's kept me out of a lot of trouble. Kept me out of, yeah. Having that is probably the most valuable thing in my life right now. Like, just having a skill that I actually enjoy doing. Is what I was talking about earlier, like being able to change your mind on something. It's a beautiful thing. Because if I still hated doing this, I would be screwed, dude. Could you imagine? Like,
It's weird because like I've always enjoyed it.
yeah,
I mean, there's stuff about the business that I don't like, you know, but like
sure.
as far as sticking, I can't ever remember a time that I didn't like it. I fucking love it, really.
Not even at 3 o'clock in the morning after you.
Not even at 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, again, like the business part of it, but like, man, I push myself and like, I know where my limits are. I know what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's something to be said about that. Like knowing that you've got that in you, and it's not like I bet I could do that. Nah, bitch, I done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's
done
no
it.
doubt in my mind.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And if I need it, it's there. It don't go nowhere, because it's not, you know, it's not something that you have to. I mean, some of it you train for, you know what I mean. But once you know it, it's pretty simple, really.
Yeah.
And the fact that people make it so complicated, you know, it's like once you see behind the curtain and you know how it works, like you can pretty much. It doesn't really matter what it is. It don't matter if it's a wall or a car or if it's sticky stuff and it needs stuck. We gonna be all right.
That's kind of part of the fun part. Like anybody can take something really simple and make it complicated, but the other way around is like, that's in a way that's kind of art.
100%.
You know, like taking a really complicated thing and just making it simple
Super
for people.
simple.
Like you training people, like that's how you approach it. You know,
One of my
how to simplify this.
One of my favorite things, I got it from Dustin Owens when I first started working with him. He was like, "What's a wrinkle?" I remember him asking me that and it being like so fucking complicated in my head at the time, like because I know what it is. I'd seen it 1,000 times. I knew how to avoid it. I knew how to get them. I could paint you a picture of it. When he asked me to explain it, it was just like, you know the thing when you do the thing and the shit, just like this is stuff. I just couldn't verbalize it. He was like, it's too much material in one spot at one time. I use it to this day.
Yeah.
Just about every single training
That's good.
I've ever done. It's perfect. And as soon as you say it, they get it.
Yeah.
You know? And it makes some, and it's like, that was so beautiful. So it like the prettiest painting you ever seen in your life. You know what I mean? Like when I heard that, I was just like, like that's it. Doesn't need to be, you know. So I agree with you. I think
I'm sure there was some type of relief also because you didn't have to come up with some crazy meaning for a wrinkle.
Nope. Never. And I didn't have to think. I've never thought about it anymore. I've never tried to make that better.
That's really interesting because when I hear questions like that, yeah, I'm always trying to like. This is a trick. This is a trick question, but no, it's not a trick question.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not. So, I'm with you. I get it. The art of it. But so as far as installation, like, do you think that do you feel like that is an art as well?
That's a good question. I honestly, not all the time.
Okay.
Not all the time.
But clearly, I mean, you think parts of it are, right? I mean, just like you just said, like it being able to articulate a super complicated thing, making it really simple. It's artistic. And you can do that.
It is.
On the installation side of it. And then, of course, the creative, right? Like, I mean, a guy that can sit down and design a wrap and then be able to take that design and make it into, you know, lay it out in such a way that it can actually be done. I mean, you have to appreciate the art of that, you know?
Yeah.
A good setup guy, there's nothing like it.
Why do you think I've been at Rap Artist so long?
So, you went to Nashville for music.
Yeah.
How'd you end up at Rap Artist?
I'll go back to where I was. Me and my wife were in Montreal.
Oh, okay.
And we made that decision to be together.
Did you live in Nashville at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why were you in Montreal?
We were supposed to play a music festival together.
Okay.
She's a musician also, and we had
Nice.
like a little project we were doing. We were supposed to play something called Mutech Festival. They have them all over the world.
I've heard you reference projects before. How do you classify a project? Like, what would be a project in your mind? Like, if you had to describe it.
Just like a collab with somebody else.
Just show up and just do a one-off show, like a.
Yeah, some stuff like that, but yeah, mostly just trying to do something cool with your free time, you know?
I got you.
Like,
Okay. I've just heard you reference it, and normally I would just roll with it, and I assume that I know what it means, and I didn't know if there was like a specific. But
yeah.
I'm with you.
But yeah.
Sounds cool. I just don't get a lot of projects, is what I'm trying to say. If I do, it's like a rap project, and normally, you know, those are like, I'm walking into a nightmare. Scott, I'm working on this project, and I think it's going to be cool. That's not going to work already. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so
Montreal, you're working on a project together.
yeah, we decided we were going to be together. So I told her I was going to go get a job because I had no freaking money. You know, I wasn't in a position to be like supportive.
Did you get on traditional and like get on one knee and ask her to marry you and the whole 9 yards?
I didn't.
No. That's cool.
Yeah, we were pretty non-traditional about it.
That's cool. I wouldn't expect anything any different.
Yeah, we eloped. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I had one of my good friends come out to be a witness and just made it happen.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, after I left Montreal, came home, I told her I was going to get a job. So I went to every sign shop in Nashville. None of them really, or at least the ones I checked out, didn't really do raps, or they already had a guy. And this artist that I had played drums for, his manager told me about this guy who raps all the buses, and really talked him up. Sounded like he was a great guy.
All the tour buses.
Yeah. So he gave me his name and address to his shop. So I just drove down there one day and just walked in the door, and Jamie wasn't even there. I talked to Jay, and it was a real straightforward conversation. I was just like,
Jay is.
yeah. I was just, looking for work. I'm an installer, and if they have all types of people come through that say they can do stuff, and their skill set's actually a little bit different. So
Sure.
they didn't really believe me, and I told them I could wrap a car. And they were like, yeah, sure. So,
Yeah, and for him, Jamie lives in his own space. So like
yeah,
TDS, like that don't mean nothing to him.
no, not at
Whereas
all.
you could go anywhere in North Carolina racing.
Well, not only that, but I didn't want that to be my in card. I
gotcha.
didn't tell him Tony was my dad.
Well, like that was a place that you done rally cars for a while, right?
Yeah, Vermont Sports Car.
Yeah, like Pro Rally Shop.
Yeah.
You could have went there and went to work. They'd have hired you.
Yeah.
Any race shop would have hired you.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not like, anyway, sorry. Go ahead. It's just fun. It's just funny thinking about like how, like people just don't realize like sometimes you got to take a minute. Cause I think Jamie told me one time that like initially you might have sent him a message on social media.
Yeah, and he ghosted me hard, dude. He straight ghosted me.
And-
yeah.
But now, like, I bet, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll get him on the podcast and we'll ask him. But, like, if he would have just been like, oh, fuck that. I'm not messaging this guy back. He would have, probably really regretted it now. You know what I mean? Now that he knows what he knows. Like, because y'all just went out and did a bus together and, like, smoked it in, like,
8 hours and 20 minutes.
full
or
bus
something.
wrap.
Yeah.
8 hours. I mean, like, that's,
2 dudes.
if he's going to call anybody, he's calling you. You know what I mean? Like, here's his go-to dude. Anyway, sorry. I got on a tangent there, but yeah. So he
yeah.
ghosted you on Insta.
Yeah, ghosted me. If anybody's trying to reach out to Jamie and he ghosts you, just go pull up at the shop. That's your best option.
Talk to Jay.
Just
Find Jay and just,
yeah.
Jay gets it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you talked to Jay and got in the system. Was like, hey, look, I'm going to come in and do a car.
Well, it was actually a couple tour trailers.
Oh, okay.
They were like, yeah, they were just gonna test me out, So they put me on a back door of a trailer, and I'm wrapping the back door, whatever. And I look behind me and I see Jamie and Jay in the print room window, like pointing at me. And of course, I got really nervous. And he's, anyway, Jamie came outside and he was like, well, looks about as good as I could do it. And that was the start of it.
Yeah.
So the rest is history.
Do you think any of the tour stuff, you think that attracted you to rap artists? The fact that they did music?
It was just ironic. Like,
Really?
It wasn't really planned or anything. I wasn't like, oh, this is perfect. It was just, the perfect thing was, it was a badass shop. Jamie's a badass. And it was only 3 miles from my house. I was like, I just hit the gold mine.
Yeah, check. Check.
Check. Yeah.
Yeah. If this dude will pay me anything,
Yeah.
we are golden.
Yep.
Like, we are good.
At that point, I was, once again, just like burnt out of
Sure.
being on the road, Just to be in one place for a couple years was pretty cool, until it wasn't.
Sure.
2-3 years into, like, well, I guess year and a half, 2 years into the pandemic, I just got depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it kind of took me to a dark place. And kudos to Jamie, man, because he stuck with me through all that stuff. You know, really, really grateful for that guy.
Sure. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Goofy. Yeah, he's a good dude.
You hear that, Jamie?
I don't know if he listens to these, to be honest.
Oh, he does. He texts you about it. What are you talking about?
I know. Then tells me don't listen. I don't get it. It's funny. So you're wrapping trailers, wrapping buses. I think, so when Justin was on, Justin talked about how Jamie's not a color change shop. And you're there all the time. You know what I mean? Like, you know what kind of shop Wrap Artist is.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
Anybody who doesn't think we do color changes, I just don't think they know what goes into a color change bus. Not to say we don't. I mean, I've done 5 color changes on that weren't buses in the past like 2 months. We do color changes all the time. But we're in a niche market, which is the tour industry, you know. We do high-end color changes on brand new $1 million buses, you know. Yeah,
Would you-
so
how
I don't get that. We do lots of color changes.
How do you think they chalk up as far as like intensity on a you know, let's just say a high-end color change shop is, I mean, they're doing Bentleys, they're doing Ferraris, you know, but even most of those cars aren't $1 million cars. I mean, but as far as like complexity, you think it's comparable?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot more flat stuff on a bus, right?
Yeah, but that means a lot more area to make mistakes.
Yeah. There's that. You're dealing with really big panels versus, you know, a mistake costs a lot more. Outside of, you know, maybe cutting on a Lamborghini, that's
Sure.
going to be pretty expensive.
Right.
But cutting on
But managing a fender.
cutting on a brand new bus is crazy expensive too. Like a paint job on a Prevost can range $100,000. You know, like.
Or is it Newberg?
Newell?
Newell.
Yeah, the Newell coaches. Yeah, that's the big money buses.
I think that's what Kyle Larson drives.
A lot of those NASCAR guys got Newells.
I mean, they're sick.
Yeah, they got the rear axle turning. You know, like they're nice.
So I was at Kyle's garage one day wrapping his trailer for the for his souvenirs. His wife does souvenirs when they go to the dirt tracks and stuff. And Kyle he's known for like driving like crazy amounts of hours, like racing a dirt race and then going to the cup race.
Yeah.
He drove his Newell to somewhere, and when he came in at like 2 a.m, and you know how all the truck drivers and all the people that drive the coaches and stuff, they're all friends and they all talk and they're sending pictures and stuff. There's this picture going around of like how Kyle Larson parked his RV crooked. And like they're all clowning
Everybody's
on him.
trolling him.
Yeah, like all the truck drivers are like, first time parking. Don't you know that thing's got a rear axle? You can turn that thing in there. You know, it's pretty funny. Like ripping on him because he can't drive. It's pretty good stuff.
Well, him being a dirt racer, you know, he's sideways, so it makes sense for him.
Yeah, he should take advantage of it.
Touche.
Yeah.
Get that boy in some dirt.
I know. How long have you been at James?
Since
2019?
since the end of 2019. Yeah. Beginning of 2020.
And you guys have done a lot.
Yeah, we've done a lot.
A lot.
And it doesn't stop, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that
It
earlier.
just keeps going.
like this week you said there was like 14 or 15 trailers.
Yeah, 14 trailers, 2 commercial buses, 2 tour trailers,
The
and
slime.
1 color change bus.
Sorry, I mean that slime one though. That's the one that you guys ripped on, right?
Yep,
That was one of the ones.
that was one of them.
I think that was a cool design.
Yeah, we did 8 of them
And
The-
then-
in a week, I think.
Well, you talk
Do
about how many
Something like that.
y'all do. Like, y'all don't post every single bus.
No,
that
we
y'all
don't.
do either.
Hell
So
no.
like,
We just
You-
post the ones I get around to.
yeah.
Like,
So like, you're scrolling through these, and like, probably for every one, there's probably like 5 more to them. Maybe 3,
yeah, maybe more.
maybe
Yeah.
more.
the irony
But,
of
like,
him.
I mean, a lot of them I don't post because, like, how many satin black buses
Sure.
do you post?
Yep,
right.
yep.
We've probably done 200 satin black buses.
that's
like,
crazy.
yeah.
So
Like,
golly, that's a ton of buses, man.
Do you you don't? But although you do most of your work out of Jamie's shop, you also like contract though, right? For
Yep.
other people.
yeah.
That's pretty cool that y'all have it worked out that you can do that, because that's what a lot of Scott and I have been doing over the past few years. Like, we have our like the main shop that we do most of our work for, but we're still able to go and get other jobs. And I don't know if a lot of people have that, or maybe they do, and I'm just not.
No, I definitely feel a bit privileged in that aspect as far as being able to come and go. And honestly, that was something Jamie and I agreed on from day one, was having that freedom.
I want to point this out before we go too far away from this. The irony of him ghosting you on social media and now you doing all the videos for social media. It's pretty funny.
So now if you're getting ghosted, it's probably me.
Yeah, Tanner's ghosting you. You need to post more so he can look at your stuff.
Once again,
Yeah.
just
You're not
drive
playing.
there if you're.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just show up.
We are busy. So forgive us. We mean well.
So, living in Nashville, I'm so glad that you are through that dark period where things were low, and
Thank
it's
you, man.
like
Thank you.
you look great, you have great vibe. You know what I mean? It is a pleasure to see you.
Dude, it's a pleasure to be here, man.
I'm so glad you came down. It's great seeing you up there. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
seems like you're in a really good place. I'm extremely happy for you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel good, which is awesome.
Yeah. So you're up there, you're doing your thing. Another thing while I'm thinking about this, just, I think me and you've talked about it before, but I do want to make sure that you know the opportunity. I wouldn't have the opportunity for training if it wasn't for you, and I really appreciate that, because that means a lot. You didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, actually, yeah. And we could go on for a long, but I was like working at that like hard,
Yeah.
and it seemed very like this wasn't going to come together, and so I don't. No. If you wouldn't have vouched for me, it wouldn't have happened. So I really, really fucking appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
That means a lot. So, yeah, I just want to make sure I said that, because it really is important. Because it's like people see it now and they're like, dude, I can't believe you're a 3M trainer. And it's like, man, you have fucking no idea how hard I worked my ass off. And then if there weren't the right people in the right places at the right times, it would have never happened. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jamie, at the end of the day, Jamie put his, he vouched for me.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have vouched for me if it wasn't for you. He just wouldn't. I'd met him too many times. Yeah, he didn't even want to work with me. He was like, bro, you tuck your shirt in. You tuck your shirt in, dude.
Yeah,
You're not.
yeah,
It's just not the right vibe here.
Yep.
You just don't.
We don't do that.
We don't.
I'm gonna make a meme out of that.
Actually, if you can
That's
just untuck your shirt, we can continue this conversation. So,
Yeah.
Pretty big deal.
Nah, man, I really can't think of another person that deserves it more than you do,
I
honestly.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there are. I don't know. Maybe they're getting ignored on Instagram from somebody.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, like, if stay after it, they'll figure it out, and
Yeah.
it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I like working with 3M, and right now it's not easy working with 3M. I don't know if you've heard or been on the
Oh
internet.
yeah.
They're getting destroyed.
I mean, I still use it pretty much every day. So
like, they're getting beat up from everybody.
Yep.
You know, and I
You
don't.
need to stop messing with stuff. Don't mess with a good thing. You got something good, just let it be good.
Let it be. That's right. That's right. They're learning though. I think big corporations like that are weird. That's a weird place to live in, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like they always refer to it like as a big boat, there's like, this is the cruise liner, you know, and they like use that as a metaphor for so many things in big corporate. And it's like, I don't, I think it may be that way, but you'd be a lot better off if you would just like, be a dinghy for a few days, and be like a little tugboat for a second and like think a little bit smaller, but I don't know. We'll see how it all shakes out. But now you're not living in Nashville.
Yeah. I live in New York City now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like it?
Dude, I love it, honestly.
Yeah.
I haven't been up there very long, so
Justin said it's freeing.
I would agree with that.
Really?
Yeah.
If you feel free.
I feel free. It's inspiring and is humbling, and it feels like anything is possible at
Really?
any moment. Yeah. At least that's the feeling I get,
So you like being there?
I do.
Yeah.
I like feeling small.
And New York makes you feel small.
Oh yeah.
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 Is that like a underdog type thing? Like,
I think it's good for somebody with a big ego
You got a big ego?
do
you really?
I see. There's always that fine line between ego and confidence, right?
Right.
I'm pretty confident, but I try to keep my ego in check. I think it's really hard to be like a great installer and not have a little bit of an ego.
Sure.
I think those things just kind of go hand in hand.
You say great install, you just think it's great across the board?
Great across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're just great at something, it's hard not to let it go to your head.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, living somewhere like New York City is it's just like a constant reminder of how small you are.
Really?
Yeah, which is super cool to me. I love it. Yeah.
So earlier we were talking, and you were saying something about you had went to. Actually, I think we were talking about 9/11. That's exactly where we were at. Because
This segue brought to you by
yeah, I know
Boeing.
it is. It is a tough. Like that's a tough conversation. But it's like if you like, I've never spent a lot of time downtown. Like I've been up through there for work and stuff like that. But like we were talking about just how crazy it would have been to be there that day. But you were. We went from that conversation to you had been over to Neil's place.
Yeah. I just met Neil last week.
Now I've never met Neil.
Real cool dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a color change guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I watched a shop thing on the YouTube about him. It's, he seems pretty cool, and he's the guy that does the Rap Society. So I mean,
Yeah.
both those things are pretty cool.
No, we immediately got along. He's and does incredible work.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm excited to. I plan on doing some work with him. He's not like looking for a full-time guy or anything.
Sure.
He's just. It seems like he's down to bring in some help every now and then.
yeah. Does he have a big operation? Like, does he have a bunch of employees?
No, it's not. It's not a big operation. They just got a new shop though. They moved from Coney Island to Staten Island, so it's a little more like suburban area. Bigger shop also with like a actual parking lot and a gate, which for them was important. Being New York City, you know,
Sure.
you don't want to leave your Aventador on the side of the street.
I mean, just the fact that it's like parking area.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like just that alone is
Yep.
probably huge.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the ground up there has got to be it's got to be expensive.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You can't just have parking lots anywhere.
No.
Put a building out.
Yeah.
You know.
But I'm pretty sure he strictly does color changes.
Okay.
I mean, he does. He told me he's doing a lot more PPF
Okay.
than wraps right now. He just tries to sell PPF. I'm not speaking for him right now. That's just what I heard. But yeah, has a garage full of great looking wraps.
Yeah.
Yeah, he crushes it.
So I mean, you look close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to, man.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there is a fine line, but when you run across somebody, especially the people that's bragged about and said is really good, I'm looking.
Yeah.
First time I went down to Jim Miller's place, we looked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Jim was cool about it. He was like, "Get in there,
Yeah.
open that door, boy. I'm about to show you something." So, yeah, so
that's
you got
good.
in there, you looked, it
Yeah, I took a gander.
was good,
Yeah, it was good, man.
tight.
Yeah, nice and tight. Yeah, he's nice with it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I have pretty minimal experience with PPF. And he said he's willing to show me some stuff, so
Nice.
I'm pretty excited about that. Same thing with Walensky.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be getting in with him some more.
Maddie.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Y'all were just doing a project together, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this past weekend, I was going out to Long Island, doing a big dye knot job for this local hospital, doing these big, like, 12-foot by 20-foot columns.
Nice.
And this, like, wood grain. Dye knot's cool, man.
It's so
I-
underrated, undermarketed, underused.
Yeah.
Like
I had a great time.
this
Doing that.
this room, like we don't have a ton of like, but if you think about like the walls are wrapped,
Yep.
the table's wrapped, like we could do so much in here. Not just in here.
This
but
is dye knot.
no, none of it's dye knot.
Oh,
That's what I was
no.
saying. But like we used material to just kind of spice up the room a little bit, right? Like just to make it
Mm-hmm.
cooler and chiller and like
I'm sure it was like scrap material you were gonna throw away or something too.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the brown came from the Cambay, from the online competition.
Oh yeah, how did that go, by the way?
Well, we lost, so not great. You know, it was I didn't read the fine print. You know, I really thought that it was going to be like a full online voting competition, and it was only 50%. The other 50% was 2 judges.
Oh my god.
And I'm not saying that they did it unfair. You know what I'm just saying?
Yeah,
but like,
for sure.
if it was just strictly online voting,
Yeah.
I think that we would have stood a lot.
Knowing the rules before you get in really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I found that out this year at RapsCon.
Oh, I think that's a good thing. How did RapsCon go?
Dude, I had so much fun.
MVP. It's pretty cool, right? First year getting MVP.
First year.
Yeah.
Honestly, I went into it trying not to have any expectations. You know, I just kind of went into it with a mindset of gratitude, just thankful to be here type thing. You know?
Yeah. And going with Kyle was probably pretty cool, dude.
it was because Kyle's my bud.
Yeah,
you
Kyle's
know?
a good dude, and he's got a good attitude for the most part.
He's got a great attitude.
You know what I mean? Like he keeps heading the game. I'd like to see him under a little bit of pressure, though. You know what I mean?
That dude sweats under pressure. like literally.
Yeah, I seen the pictures. He's like pouring sweat. Let's
yeah.
go.
Yeah. There it is.
MVP dog.
MVP.
That's crazy.
It's cool.
Yeah. We were there's Luis.
Louise in the
back
background. Yeah, he's ready, son. That was like the best coverage of the competition was
Yeah.
Luis.
Yeah.
Like he was going live like every couple hours. So it was like if you wanted to watch, you just watch his stuff. And
Man, Luis is passionate about
life.
about life, about the industry, about I don't know. He's inspiring.
Yeah. I don't know how old he is, but he talks like he's 100 years old. You know what I mean? Like he's been here forever.
Yeah.
And like he gets around so good, dude.
Yeah, he
like
does.
he's still getting after it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? He's a musician. What are
Yeah,
we talking,
yeah,
what are we
yeah.
talking about that? Like he plays. Yeah, he's cool.
We've talked about doing a little jam sesh together. I
Yeah.
want to go down there and work with him some, and maybe have a little jam sesh.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So do you know where's he out of? I can't remember. I know it's South Florida somewhere.
He's in Florida.
yeah.
Yeah.
Apopka. I don't know how to say it. Apop.
It's hard to listen to.
We've sent him stuff before.
I know. I just didn't. I mean, I don't know what part of Florida's big. You know what I mean? Like just because
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
says that. Like I can remember people saying, "Man, I got a job coming up in Florida." I'll be like, "Oh, Josh is there. He can do it." And he'd be like, "Nah, I'm
6
like
hours
yeah,
away.
like 8 hours from me."
Apopka.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how you say it, but I know that's where
And shout out Luis. Shout out
Yeah.
Blake Cage.
For sure. For sure. For sure.
on the WrapOn store, you know.
Available now.
But yeah, Rap's gone. We made it to the finals. We finished third place. Not total. Like after the first day, we were in third going into the finals.
First time too.
Yeah,
You know, first
yeah.
time going to competition like that's strong in itself.
And if I could do it all over again, I would have a way different strategy of how I went about the whole thing. Like, we didn't really know what we were doing.
Sure.
I just had a goal to be undeniable. That was my goal.
Yeah. Stand out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna rap the shit out of this stuff. And maybe I'll get a good grade, but if not, like everybody's gonna know. Like,
Well, clear. I mean, you must have done it. I mean, they don't just give MVP out for no reason, right? Like, so you had to stand out. And there was some good guys there
yeah,
and gals.
Javier and Damian Cordero, man, those two
Slayers,
guys.
bro.
Holy crap!
Dude.
Like hands down, without a doubt, they deserved it. You know?
Yeah, I'm not going to another Rap Olympics if they're in it.
Can
Sorry,
you,
it's not.
Javier just posted pictures from the Cambay competition. Can you pull that up?
Yeah.
So he was just down in. It was in Colombia, correct?
Yeah.
Did you see the stuff from it? So I don't know if they placed.
They didn't.
They didn't.
Which makes
That's
me
insane.
wonder how
Like, what is going on down there?
what
And I know the material they're using. Like Alltac is a calendared film.
Yep.
Way harder. Like, what is going on down there?
there's
like,
there's got to be some killers down there, dude.
like,
Hang on a second. Oh, this is a twofer.
because they're both equally as good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think either one of them.
They didn't post a ton.
That's so
From it.
funny. It seemed like they did. There was a, maybe it was on Facebook. Maybe because remember I sent you that collage, like that.
I don't know why this isn't letting me fast forward here. Hang on, let's just see. Did they put their stickers on the plane?
A little federal offense.
That's not.
Chill.
We saw
Real
nothing.
chill.
Subtle, really.
We'll blur that out. But yeah, there was a lot
Mad
going on there.
respect.
100%.
Mad respect.
Yeah, a lot of the PPS stuff that we learned from watching those guys at the first two, at the two rap Olympics we went to. We would just sit and watch them.
Yeah, like that was the biggest take from the first year was just sitting back and watching people just either screw up or crush
See,
it.
that's what I should have done more of.
Yeah.
I didn't do any of that.
It's hard.
I didn't watch other people, see
Yeah.
how they went about it. That's something I definitely would have done to get like a better game plan.
Yeah.
I just kind of went into everything.
Guns blazing.
Blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking just
Yeah, during the finals, I didn't find out that there was a design portion until right before they said go, basically. So we had like 2 hours to wrap one side and either the front or the back of a Tesla. I think it was like a Model 3 or something. And me and Kyle actually there's all the bonus stages. We actually won the bonus stage rounds. We had the most points, so we got to choose which material we were using and either doing the front or the back of the test slip. Since we had already done the back, the rear of one, that was one of the stages, we just went ahead and chose that since we had done that once.
Sure. Probably had a flow, kind of worked it out. Yeah. And that's important when you're in a competition like that. Like, you got to kind of know where the other person is, and which you and Kyle have slung enough material with each other.
Which is funny, man. It's funny you bring that up because we got deducted points for poor communication.
Really?
What?
Yeah, because we weren't talking to each other, which I thought
No
was strange
way, dude.
because like we have all day to come up with a plan.
Right.
Like we can talk about it for hours before.
So,
Like I think if anything, we already had a game plan. We didn't have to talk to each other. I feel like when you're really flowing with somebody,
You
like
don't,
what do you got to say?
so we knew that. We knew that the second year that we went.
Yeah.
And, like, I just obnoxiously just,
Started talking.
I just, everything that we had went over and we had a plan for, when they hit go, it was like, hey, remember we talked about that. You got that. Don't worry. And Josh is like,
We had a notepad with us.
I can remember, like, he was, what
I
the
was drawing stuff out and
Yeah.
shit like that.
like, I just
But
leaned into it.
yeah, the stuff that
We should have won.
yeah, the stuff that I didn't think that we would need the notepad for, because I thought we'd need a notepad for one thing, but he was like all up in them. Like, can you say that? All up in them?
I think so.
Oh yeah, just did.
Yeah, I heard it.
But yeah, no, that's really
All up in
odd
them
because
guts.
I think honestly that's what shows a good team.
Yeah.
Not having to talk as much, and
Dude,
especially
thank
if you
you.
already come in there like prepared.
Prepared.
Because me and Scott are kind of the same way. Like even Kyle, like it don't take much for an installer like you, Kyle, and Scott to fall in, like just figure it out real quick, and then you
Let's
just
go.
go. You don't have, and a lot of people,
Less is more. Like
A lot of
don't. So, yeah.
yeah, there's not a whole lot of people that get to experience that.
Sometimes you got to read the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, look around. Like,
But to get deducted points for
I
that,
know, that's crazy.
I don't know, man.
That's too much.
I don't know. Mm.
I sometimes there's days that I've been installing with Josh. And he's just on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got to step the fuck back
Yep.
and just fucking and follow his lead.
Just fall in line.
Yeah, and then and then there's other days that it's like, hey, dude, I got this. We're good.
Mhm.
I'm good. Let's roll. And it's like sometimes that's all you need. You don't need there might be some little adjustments. And I mean, I get it. They got to grade you on something, but I just it's
That is not one.
it's not it. No, I think
Bad move.
the Rap Olympics. They say it every year that it's going to be different. They're going to give it a facelift, but I think it really needs a facelift. I think they need some fresh eyes, man. They need some creativity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
I am excited. I do think it's awesome y'all went though. I didn't know if he was going to go. To be honest with you.
I wasn't sure either, but I'm really glad I did. It was a great experience overall. Yeah. I would do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you?
As a matter of fact, I plan on winning that shit
Yeah.
next year. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to bring your big boy pants
Bring 'em.
because
Prepared.
because we
Go.
we really wanted to go this year, but we just had too much work to do
it's
here.
just
It just didn't work
didn't
out.
pan out.
I think that's how SEMA's gonna work out for me this year. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But-
I would really like to work SEMA, but yeah, that's probably the only way I would go. So if I can-
Well, I just seen. Do you follow this girl on Instagram? Sav, SAV, Sav Raps.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing it, man. Like
Yeah, she is. She's crushing it.
I just seen I think she made a post. I think she's going out with GSWF. She's gonna be doing demos at SEMA. That's pretty badass, dude.
That is badass.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, Josh, see if you can pull that up. Just look on GSWF. I just seen him post it. So shout out to her. I think it's cool what she's doing. I think it's cool for GSWF to work with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's doing it. So, but it wouldn't surprise me, dude. Like you could probably, I don't know. I don't think it would be that tough. I don't think it's too big of a stretch.
Well, if it happens, I'll.
Yeah,
If it happens, I'll be there.
I just seen this.
Let's get some volume up here.
But I mean, they're not the biggest brand. You know what I mean? But they're relevant.
But still, I don't even think she's been doing it that long. Like she's worked her way. You know, she got a crazy following
I know.
now.
Hi guys,
Yeah.
I'm Savannah, also known as Sav Raps. I'm going to be doing a demo at SEMA this year for GSWF USA. So be sure to come out and check out all of our new colors and say hi to me and the team with GSWF.
Sav Raps is a dope name.
Yeah,
I
like
it.
her whole style and what she's doing. Like I get it.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Also, another thing, like when I saw you start doing the that rap dude thing,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
dude, it made so much fucking sense to me.
100%. Love the logo
Like-
and the.
El Deuterino, if you're into the brevity thing.
What is
Dude,
it? I missed something.
It's a
shut the
big,
fuck up, Tom.
It's a Big Lebowski quote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
it. Got it. I should have known that. That makes
Dude,
sense.
the first time I ever seen that movie, we were on a band trip in the mountains, and
Yeah.
yeah, not like a marching band trip. There were
It's like a
those,
one-time
but this
band
was like
camp
a
story.
Josh Lambert band trip.
Oh, okay.
And we went up to the mountains and
That made
just
it better
like,
right there, quickly.
yeah, we just partied. And watched the Big Lebowski.
A little bit of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I do love the
Little
logo.
hot tub.
I love the logo.
Yeah.
Though, by
Thank
the
you.
way. I appreciate
Yeah.
the stickers.
Freddie did that.
Freddie from Rap Artist?
Yeah, yeah,
Get
Who's
outta here.
who's
yeah.
the,
Freddie's a killer designer, dude. He's really good.
who's the guy that
He's a tattoo artist also.
that's
He
sick.
does great tattoos.
I didn't realize he'd done that.
Yeah.
Shout out Fred.
What
man. He
did,
crushed
is that where that came from? Was that a Big Lebowski reference the whole time? Like you want to do that rap dude?
Oh no,
Or where'd
no,
that come
no.
from?
Somebody was like referring to me one time and was like, you know, that rap dude,
That rap-
and I was like, that's it, that's me. I'm that dude that raps.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, dude. Like all the content that you've done for Rap Artists looks good. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
like,
you.
All those videos are solid. They're consistent. You know what I mean? They flow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I like it. I
Well,
like it a
here recently though, like you're like on your page,
lot. Yeah.
like who's doing? Is somebody doing your videos or is that all you?
It's all me, except
Yeah,
for one of them.
Is it?
I had a homie pull up one day and get some footage. Yeah, that's the photo. There's a video. Should be the first one. I got it pinned.
But you can get like all the content. No, the very first one, Lambert. What are you doing?
There you
That's
go.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Maybe.
Like you can get all.
Yeah,
the
this
content
guy's
you ever
name's
wanted.
Shadow Boy. He's down there. He's a great artist and rapper in Nashville. Not rapper without the W.
Oh,
Yeah.
He also does content. Or does videos?
yeah.
That shop's just really good at like it's very photogenic. Like doing content in there just makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like you've got so much.
And we weren't even like
Ability.
staged or anything. That car was just kind of.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
Those are
driving
the
a car.
Those are the best ones, man. Like whenever you're not trying to overthink it.
Yeah.
Because I get in here and like me and Scott try to do some videos and like we just get in this space where we're like trying to force crap and I'm like
It's
and
tough.
I feel like I got to be like the Rick Rubin in the room and be like, yo man, hey, why don't we
Just,
take
like,
our
let
shoes
it
off
be.
and
Yeah.
just sit on the floor for a little bit, and instead of you trying to like read from a script, why don't you just like
Go.
talk like you would normally talk?
We did we were doing the video for Brothers Chemical, and we drug a chair out onto the floor, and Josh was like, just go, just go, just run it. And it was probably some of the best footage that we got from that whole.
Yeah, just 10 minutes of straight, just like stream of conscious. Like we weren't trying to like be like, we got to get this clip, just talk about
It's
it.
like, hey, look, just say what happened.
It's funny how that works, man.
It's weird, dude. I don't understand it sometimes. It freaking blows my mind.
Yeah, but no, that's good. I
Yeah,
like the little rebrand.
Thanks, man. Honestly, doing the videos has been a creative outlet on its own for me. It kind of tickles that same part of my brain that music does. You know, getting footage and cutting it up, putting it together, putting some music to it. It's like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and like Josh said, Jamie's done a good job of like that play, intentionally or unintentionally, whatever. Regardless, it is what it is. The lighting there is great.
Dude, it's a legendary shot.
It really is.
Yeah.
In the rap industry, it's just one of those things. Like if you're in Nashville, you're going, and it's probably on your bucket list to go anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I remember the first time I went there. I posted something on of my RV sitting in the front of the shop or something like that.
Out in front of rap artists.
Yeah, and the picture of the door.
You drove the RV to rap artists?
Oh yeah,
That's funny.
we set up shop for like a month out there and just did trailers.
Yeah, that's cool.
But Tanner commented, he's like, "There it is." Yeah, it was funny. It was good for me.
Nice.
Well, dude, I love where you're headed. I do. I think it's awesome. I think the branding stuff is cool. I'd love to see you on the road. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I think being at Jamie's is cool too. I think it's awesome that, you know, you got his back, he's got your back, and it's been a good thing. But at the same time, it's cool to see you get out and, you know, mingle with some of these people. I think it's good. It's good for you.
It feels right, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does.
Well, and it's not that you live. It's like you don't live in Jamie's shadows, or you don't live in your dad's shadows, or anything like that.
I just live in Jamie's office.
Sometimes, like once a week, or I mean, once a month, once a month.
Or as everybody else calls it, your bedroom.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
But I think it's cool. I think it's like, I think you've kind of you've paved your own path. You know what I mean? And I don't think that nobody can take that from you. I think that you work hard and you're a good dude and you do good work, and so it's exciting to see, you know, where you're gonna go and what's gonna happen. I mean, I did want to ask, like, we've talked about it a couple times, like music. Where does music fall in all this?
I don't want to say music's like a thing of the past, because it's definitely not.
Because it's a big part of your life, man.
Yeah, it is. It's just not on my radar anymore, or right now. Like, I think I was starting to tell you how like COVID kind of shifted my priorities and all that. Like while the world was shut down, the idea of spending my energy like making a song seemed like the most vapid thing in the world.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna make a song while the world is ending. Like, go do something with your hands. Go like make something. Like, go help somebody. Go.
I could see it going the other way though. Like, you remember the scene in the Titanic where the guys were like playing as the ship were going down? You know what I mean? Like, I think there's something to that too. Like, sometimes that's the space. But
it's just whichever road you choose to take. You know,
Sure.
It's just as soon as I could come to terms with the fact that this is my career and that this is what I'm doing with my life right now, it was a relief, because there wasn't this like
do you think that was
internal struggle between like, what am I doing? Am I supposed to be playing music, or am I supposed
put my efforts? Where do I gotta put my efforts?
Yeah,
towards
and
something?
just straightforward. I mean, if anything, it's kind of turned into like a survival tactic almost. Like, working my ass off is the best thing I can do for myself most of the time.
There's a good quote that I like to fall back on whenever Scott and I like dream up the future. and trying to think about what to do next. But it's like, and I'm probably going to botch this, but success is doing the obvious thing for an obnoxious amount of time. And
Can you say that one more time?
success is doing the obvious thing for an obnoxious amount of time. So like for me,
Like, of course, the hard work would be obvious, right? Like, duh, just do the hard work.
but like while you're trying to dream up the future, like and trying to figure out how you're going to make money, or like multiple streams of it, trying to make multiple streams of income or whatever. Like, no, just focus on, you're good at rapping.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on that. It's obvious that you're good at rapping, so just double down on that. And that's kind of where I fall right now. So I get that.
Yeah, that's it, man. I just doubled down on it. I mean,
And it's not that you'll, because I don't play music nearly as much as I used to, and it's not on my radar. But like, if I do play music, it's going to be because I want to, and it's not going to be because I'm trying to make money off of it, or I'm trying to like get something else other than like pure joy out of it.
right.
So
Well, the cool thing about music is like nobody can ever take that from you.
yeah,
Like, I will always have music, whether or not I'm pursuing it or not. Like, and that doesn't really matter to me right now.
I feel that shit.
Do you think it was more your because you referenced it during COVID, but you think it was more that or your wife? Because didn't that happen kind of at the same time?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I feel like I just made all of those like decisions all at once.
Yeah.
And just like put my foot down and it's like, this is it.
Yeah.
And come to terms with it and move on.
Sure.
And just keep going. Put your head down and
Do you
go.
casually play? Like, is that a thing?
I don't have a drum set set up.
Okay.
Yeah,
But you're
yeah.
not just a drummer, right? I mean, you play other instruments.
Dude, I haven't really. Well, I take that back. There's a dude in Nashville I've been playing drums with for a while. For like. I don't
Oh, that's
know,
right.
a
Yeah,
year.
you went and did some shows. I remember.
Yeah.
Recently.
We just played the Basement East in Nashville. But I don't know, like 2 weeks ago I had to turn down a gig because it was kind of last minute. I had jobs lined up and I just had to get real with the dude and just let him know that he like actually deserves a drummer that can fully commit all the time, because he's passionate, he's driven, he's doing everything he can to like make it happen, you know.
This is a
And
singer?
Yeah. And I've spent most of my life doing that, and I'm not interested in
Sure.
that pursuit anymore, you know. For me, it was just like good camaraderie, hanging out with friends, playing music, you know.
Yeah.
I don't really have any goals as far as playing drums for homies goes.
Sure. Well, earlier you had said, like, get a chance to sit down and jam with Lewis. Like, that's all.
Yeah, that would be badass.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, you know. Yeah, trying to relax a little bit and not take everything so freaking seriously all the time.
Yeah.
Especially myself.
What
You know.
What does that look like for your future in rapping? What do you think that looks like?
That's a good question, man. I don't.
And not to put you on the spot, I'm just curious.
I don't know what the future looks like.
'Cause
I'm kind of in the crossroads right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's cool.
But I'm really an open book at the moment.
Yeah.
Really open to any opportunity or whatever might come along. I'm willing and open, so we'll see.
yeah, I think it's exciting. I mean, because you got your certifications.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know all the right people.
Yeah, we went through automotive window film together. That was cool.
It
Yeah.
was cool, man.
Have you been doing much tinting?
You know, Baden does a lot, and so like any opportunity I get to do it, I do it. You know, just practicing, trying to get my strokes in. Fundamentals, I feel like I got it down pretty good. Working with the tinner, you know, getting to work next to Baden, or just really even just like on social media, dude, you can learn so much. There's no excuse for anybody. Like if anybody ever said that they wanted to get into an industry, especially films, like if somebody was like, man, I just don't know how to get into PPF, like, bro, just get on fucking Instagram or TikTok, type in PPF, and you'll find everything that you need to find. Because I get on there and I'll see like some of the stupidest, most simple things. Like I was having trouble with constantly getting dirt on my top edge. It happened almost every single time. It wasn't sometimes it was significant. Most of the time it's just like this little, just enough to where it was like junk. It wasn't gonna work.
Yeah.
You knew it was trash. You got to throw it away. And I'm like, I know I cleaned it. It's coming from somewhere. How, you know, what am I doing? And Baden watched me do a window, and he was like, "Why are you soaking the top edge?" I'm like, well, it's got to be wet. I mean, I got to be able to move it. No, not the top edge. No, it don't. He's like, every time you spray up there, it's bringing dirt down.
Yeah.
And I was like, and as soon as he said it, I could see it dripping off the top. I'm like,
And you're like, of course.
yeah, there's dirt there.
Yeah.
That's where that's coming from. Like, it seems so obvious and like so, but it was just one last, you know, I was going up there and just giving it one last little fan before I started, and it was killing me every time. And and it's funny because now looking back, the fact that I actually got few windows out without dirt in it is really just unbelievable.
Kind of lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%
Yeah.
as it was. And so it's like little stuff like that. Like, I think that's, you know, a seasoned installer or a seasoned window tinner. I think those are the little things that they pick up, and it's like, I like that. I like the nuances of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I like playing in a space where it's like, I'm not the guy. You know, I don't pretend to be a professional window tinner. Like I said, fundamentals, I got fundamentals down good. We can shrink glass. I could if somebody needed help with that, I got you, dog.
Yeah, I can shrink some film.
I got you.
Yeah.
I can show you all kinds of cool stuff. But those little nuances that people that just tint, man, they just know. They can tell you. They can say, earlier I heard Baden, he was on the phone. He was talking to a guy, and he was like, yeah, I've got a 2014 Dodge 2500, and Baden shot him off a quote real quick, and the guy was like, man, it's a little strong. I think I'll let you know. And he got off the phone, and Baden's like, bro, that thing's got felt seals on both edges. I'm gonna have to take those off. It's a removal, so there's no telling what kind of film's on that thing. It's probably gonna, it's gonna take me X amount of hours.
Yep.
It's, because it's so old, there's gonna be dirt every fucking where. He was like, that's just what it's gonna cost. If I'm gonna dive into a problem like that, I'm walking into a bombshell, like, that's just what it's gonna cost.
Yep.
And I was like, damn, man, like, he just rattled it off. He just knew, these are the problems. This is what I'm gonna run into. That's what I'm charging. And whereas if a guy opened a new tent shop, he would have just been like,
Kicking himself for
bro,
a couple
bring
days.
it in, $150. I'll knock it out right now.
Been on the wrapper and been like,
it's there 3 days later.
Exactly. And he's like, bro, I just fucking felt. So I'm getting fibers all under this thing.
anybody know a good adhesive remover?
I've been scraping on this window for 2 days, And so it's like, this has been cool for stuff like that. You know what I mean? I really feel like, because next year I'm gonna go in, full in on training for window tint PPF, and so like being able to work with somebody that's like, it's what he does all day, every day. Like he's tinting at least one car a day. It's rolling in and out of this place, and so even though he's young, he's learned a lot. Like he's good. He's a damn good installer. But yeah, so I'm doing as much as I can. I mean,
Dude, I want to do some more. I had actually been talking about it with Jamie the other week, because I haven't been in New York very long. So, and I'm in Nashville under 911 circumstances. So frequently, it's hard for me to find like new work and stuff around the city. So I've been thinking about reaching out to a tent shop and seeing if I can just work there for like couple months.
It's funny.
And get up in my tint game. If I could just work with a tinter for a couple months, I feel like you were saying, just like learning all the little
The
nuances.
chops.
Yeah.
Get
yeah.
you-
The-
I mean,
get the reputation.
that's
down,
it.
Like,
And they know it.
yeah.
You know, but I'm telling you, dude, you learn a lot of that stuff on social media. Like I picked up this. Well, actually, it was a class. I was teaching a class. We were doing it. It was a fleet class, and there was a window tinter in there. And I told him I was like, yeah, I was like, when we do these front windshields, getting this, getting the liner off, and he was like, why are you doing it like that? I'm like, well, when you reverse roll one, you gotta pull the liner. He was like, no, the liner should end up on the back. You don't have to do it like that. I'm like, well, there's a real easy way we can do this. Once class is over, you can just tint that front windshield and you can show me what you're talking about. He was like, say less, bud. I got it.
Yeah.
And so while he was tinting, I went to go open the passenger side door, and he was like, whoa. Like, what? He was like, don't open that door. I'm like, why not? He's like, every time you open and close that door, it's just sucking and moving dirt. He's like, don't. He got out of the car and he's got the film in his hand. He's like, hey, look, man, like every time you open and close that door, he gave me the spiel. And I'm like, aren't you worried that's drying up in your hand? And he was like, no, I'm more worried about you opening that door while I'm trying to tint this front glass. Like, I was like, okay, I got you. So it's just stuff like that. Like you just never know where you're going to pick up that little piece of information from the guy, from anybody. But social media does a good job. But it's funny that you say that, because the last time I was up at Jamie's, he was talking about he'd asked me to do like a tuxedo on an SUV or something,
yeah.
And I got to thinking about like, if the timing was right, especially for me doing like because I'll go up there and do like a 5-day class, and then this year I lined it up to where I can do a 3-day class right in behind that, but there's always a little bit of time in between the two, so it's like maybe I'm there for a day or something. And Jamie's always been open to pretty much anything. I mean, I say anything, but like but I thought like while I was up there, if there's not much going on, I could probably tint some cars while I was there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'd probably be fine with that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I don't know how, but I thought about you. I was like, man, I think me and Tanner could do this. I think we'll convince him he can let us tint some cars up here on the weekends whenever between classes. This can happen. This can, just because, hell, it's too easy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
now it's I say that. Have you looked and seen, like, there's got to be tint shops everywhere in Nashville.
In Nashville, yeah, there's some.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were about to say New York. There's a lot of tint shops in New York.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of cars?
There's a lot of people in general.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just imagine, like, when Justin Pate was on the podcast, he was talking about, like, in Netherlands, they don't even own cars. So I would assume some people downtown.
I don't own a car up there.
Oh, that's right. Your truck stays in Jamie's for the most part.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you ever do like Central Park?
Like go there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
Yeah. How close is it to?
I'm in Brooklyn. I can get to Manhattan in like 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
Well, you said something earlier when we were talking. You were like, "Oh man, it's pretty much just like 2 trains and a ferry or something." I was like, "What?"
Dude, you laugh at that, but like, there's something about like being able to like hop on public transportation and like get somewhere. Like,
I told Tanner that you live in a world where you just want to wear chacos all day, every day.
yeah, yes, I do.
And be able to walk across the street and get groceries and stuff. Like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
It's
something
not just
about like the city life, like you said, like being so small and like walking around your neighborhoods and like being able to walk places. Like, I don't know.
What about the cold? Are you prepared for the cold in New York?
Hell no.
Well,
I'm skinny, man. I get cold.
It gets cold in Nashville.
Yeah, it does.
You know?
Yeah,
It gets cold in North Carolina.
it does.
For
I've,
like a
always, I've
minute.
always said, like, comparing Nashville to North Carolina, Nashville is 10% worse in the heat
The-
and the cold.
Really? The heat too?
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting.
It's like not much difference, but there's enough. It's about 10%. I'd say.
It's a different. Nashville's a different world. Like
It's
Too many hills.
It's a funny little bubble, dude.
it's a strange,
Yeah,
strange little place, and it's blown way the fuck up.
it
Like,
has.
it's like a thing in itself.
All the cool people moved away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
What do you mean?
That was a bold statement,
All,
wasn't it?
all
Oh,
the
you
Californians, all the
You meant
all
you,
the Cali.
didn't you were talking about yourself. You got me.
That's
I
funny.
thought you missed. I'm sitting here thinking, like, did I miss something?
I wasn't really just talking about myself.
Okay.
Like things really have changed, and there's a whole different like all the tech bros. Moved
I'm so
in
glad you
and,
explained that joke, or I completely missed it. It was way funnier than I gave it credit.
Yeah, I missed it too.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Californians moved in, and
Tanner moved out.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much all you need to know.
I honestly I would still be living in Nashville if I was single. I'd still be living in Nashville. The things you do for love, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Is that a big thing for her up there? Is-
Yeah, it's huge. She really hates Nashville. She really doesn't like it. You know.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
she's from Mexico City, right? Is that what you said earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
So-
spent her whole life in Mexico City, so New York is kind of a close second to that.
Really,
as far
it's
as
comparable.
yeah, as far as like size, at least. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And because you've been right, like you said, you went and spent some time down there.
yeah. I've been, I think like 3 or 4 times.
Do you like it?
I love Mexico City.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So if she wanted,
it's a little wild.
if she
but
wanted to go back, you're down for that.
she does not want to go back.
Really?
Yeah,
New York is the spot,
New York's the spot. Yeah.
and it's because of the music.
For her, and that plus she's a translator and a interpreter, so
Oh, that's cool.
she works as like a subcontractor for a third-party company that supplies translators and interpreters for like hospitals and stuff like
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah,
So her English is pretty good,
it's pretty good.
pretty solid.
Yeah, she got a real strong accent, but yeah, she's a great translator.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that like
That's
something,
what she went to school for in Mexico.
gotcha?
Yep.
Something she's passionate about, like you said.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I can see how that's like pretty important in some cases.
Yeah, she's actually in Berlin right now. She's on a 5-week European tour, just playing clubs around Europe.
That's music though. That's
yeah,
not,
that's music.
Just not that has nothing to do with interpretation stuff.
No, but she can speak French, Italian,
That's cool.
Spanish, English. She's been learning Japanese for the past 2 years. And yeah, so she likes that stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's something.
Americans are so uncultured, bro. We are just like the garbage pit of the world.
I think we're coming around, man.
Yeah.
I think.
She also knows how to speak English too, just so you know.
Yeah.
Do you know how to speak Spanish or French,
No,
Scott?
I do not.
Yeah.
I actually took
That's-
French for like 3 years and then went to Central America right after, and all of my French turned to Spanish. I'm still terrible at Spanish. So.
Well, dude, I have thoroughly enjoyed this.
Likewise, man.
I appreciate the fuck out of it. I know you said it before that, you didn't know how this was gonna go, but
Yeah, I was nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, I think it was cool. I think it was good, and I'd say it a lot, but I think it'd be cool to have you back on. I don't know.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing this for like a year
I
now.
don't know
How does it feel to be doing it?
the podcast.
Yeah. Get it up and off the ground.
It's a weight off my shoulders. I'll tell you that.
I tell you, I probably wouldn't have done it without Josh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like a lot of it fact that he came back and is helping, couldn't have done it without him. Fact that we're actually doing it is, like once I get in here, it's weird standing on the outside. When I look in here, it doesn't feel like this should be here. Like it doesn't feel like it's like what the fuck is that? Like how did we get there? Like I'm genuinely proud of it. I love the way it looks, the way it feels. I love the fact that we can get in here and get honed in and like enjoy ourselves. I like that people like it. I don't know. I just, if I could do it all the time, I probably would. I don't know. There's something about it. Like when I get in the seat and I would ask you, does it feel like, I mean, I'm sure it does now because we're talking about it, but I'm like in the heat of it, like when we're just hanging out and talking and it's just us, like it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
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 And so it's like there's something to that to me that I just enjoy the fuck out of it, dude. I think it's awesome.
You're a natural at it, dude.
Well, I think I enjoy it, right? I think that helps. You know, I don't know. I feel good in here. I feel like I'm surrounded by shit that I like. You know what I mean? I get to hang out with cool fucking people. I get to hear parts of their like I appreciate the fact you're willing to share stuff with me. You know what I mean? And like just chill and hang out and talk about it. And like, I don't know. It's cool. I love it. I like doing it. I hope to do it for a long time. You know, I think.
I know I've told you plenty of times, but I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm really happy for you. Yeah, dude.
It's
I'm excited for both you guys. Y'all are crushing it. WrapOn Tools. What's up?
Yeah. It's
Get it.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
All that stuff. I don't know.
Now we'll have to get back in here and I'll at a later date and have like 4 of us in here.
Yeah,
we'll chop it up. Maybe we can get Jamie in here too.
Or Kyle.
Or Kyle. Yeah. Kyle Tanner, Josh, Kyle Tanner, Lambert, and Decker. That'd be fun.
Because I mean, we got space in here, dude. We could do some cool stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I've got some guys like we just did this one with Ken. And I enjoyed the hell out of Ken, or even Jeremy Connors. Like, I just think those dudes are kind of interesting and cool, and like I'd love for them just to be able to. I don't know. I want to take advantage of the studio because we have it and it's set up. You know, so sometimes I imagine it being kind of like let them do their own thing. Like let them do their own tear and just come in and I don't know, do an episode of just them talking about shit. I don't know. So I would like to see it grow and be.
I like how free it is.
Yeah.
There's no agenda. You're not out here playing gotcha, which is refreshing.
No, and it's sometimes it's challenging to avoid that. You know, like not the gotcha part, but like I don't want anybody to feel like I'm trying to. And sometimes it gets personal. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I try to have a good gauge of that. Sometimes like when I first got with my wife, like she was like, "Hey, look, just not everybody wants a hug. Not everybody wants you to hug them. So you need to be able to gauge that. You need to figure that shit out, dog, because it's just it's just weird. So it's like I feel like I got a pretty good gauge of where people are at, and not to go too far, but it's fun. It's cool. It's exciting. I look forward to it. So anyway, all right. It's been fun. It's been real. I appreciate it. I hope we do it again.
Yeah, I'll play us out with a little.
Yeah, you got one more?
Little Josh Lambert band.
Oh, shit.
You've been waiting on this moment, haven't you? Jesus.
I mean, we've already got one copyright strike. What's another?
What year was this?
Oh,
13 years ago?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Dude, I remember me and you put these videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I was tight on this one, dog.
Oh, yeah. It was a good.
Y'all are ridiculous.
Yeah, this was when we opened for Blues Traveler.
You were wearing a fedora.
Dude, I wanted to be Jason Mraz so bad.
Felt like a chill and you came tumbling after.
Shout out the guy on the bongos.
Scotty.
Scotty!
So
God, I
late.
hope he sees this now.
Tank.
Old Patrick Bell, huh?
Man, I wonder what these guys are doing these days.
Scotty is living out in San Fran right now
What?
with his fiance. I'm
Wow.
not sure if they're married now, but yeah, she's like a big news anchor, like meteorologist, and he like runs like cameras and production for her news team.
What about Tank? Is Tank still around?
I think he's still in Burlington. Yeah.
Okay.
But you played some music with him before you left, right?
Yeah.
Y'all were
yeah,
jamming together.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while. He was in a weird spot.
Yeah, but he rips too, right? Like, I mean, he's good.
Everybody on that stage rips, dude.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it was good.
Anyway.
Was that
We
two?
don't have to put any of this on here, but
Was that two drum sets there?
Yeah, that's
That was
That was-
the headlining.
yeah.
Oh,
gig.
got it. Yeah.
We were opening.
We don't have to do this, but I won't. I don't think this was a good video. I think your dad recorded this on a flip phone on one of the. Hang on, where did it go?
I hear it, but I don't see it.
You got one job, Lambert.
Hold up. Oh, there it is. Your dad
This one right here is pretty cool.
and your mom is like, "Shut up," and he's like, "I don't care."
Classic.
Yeah, that dude was ready.
Honestly, I think this is probably the better video.
Patrick always had some funny sax solos.
He did. This song was fucking tight. I don't care what anybody says. I have no idea what I was writing about. Lyrics, I don't know.
The closer I get to that fedora, the more uncomfortable I get.
We had only rehearsed this song like 2 or 3 times. And I don't think you ever played this drum part as good as you did that night.
Fucking bass player's getting after it.
Hayden don't fuck around, dude. Hayden's badass.
Classic parent video.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad video.
It's not. No, he did a good job.
Shout out to TJ. Tony Johnson coming in clutch.
I'm just gonna play this out just because it's so good.
Get legs under control. You guys are rock stars.
Oh, we thought we were for sure.
Hey-oh!
Yeah. The end of this song, this sounds weird, but the end of this song is probably one of my favorite things in life. It just was so beautiful.
Just keep it in your pants.
All of it was improvised because we were still learning the song, all of this stuff.
doing too much, Tanner.
No.
Do
you're doing
less.
enough, bro.
Is that Tank?
Yeah.
You guys weren't lying. It's pretty good.
That's like one of the only originals that I was proud of.
No, I say leave it in there. I think that was good. I think it's a good way to end it.
Boys, thank you for having me. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Love you too. Thanks for being here. Lambert, we good?
Yep, we're good.
All right, let's go.